Welcome back to the Moonchild Podcast. I'm your host, Elijah KB, and today I have another question for you. How deep is your why? How deep is your why? So, what do I mean by how deep is your why? Basically, what are you doing it for? I feel obligated to tell you that this episode will serve more so as a motivational type, inspirational type episode, for your goals, like reaching your goals and finding and staying on your purpose. So I'm asking you, how deep is your why? Why should your why even run deep for you? Well, it's like this. If your why is more so surface and your goal is a bit more challenging than the average, then I guarantee you that you will not reach it. You will not reach it because your why isn't enough to drive you to that point of success. For example, I remember a long ass time ago, this had to be when I was like 22, 23. And, a couple years prior to that, I decided to go public with my music and really push it and really, try and get more eyes and ears on me, music wise. Really trying to quote unquote make it, as they say. And I was having a conversation with one of my bros. Shout out Hernan. I was having a conversation with him, and he said something. He was like, it's a lot of us. It's a lot of us in our friend group, brotherhood, whatever. You can just make us team members so we can all help push this music and really get you there. And I remember thinking about it in that moment, and I responded to him with this, and I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember exactly what I said, but who gives a fuck? This is what I said. Right? So basically I said, up front, like on the surface, that seems cool, that seems like something to do, but I'm thinking deeper than that. I'm thinking like, what about, I understand that the only reason they would be doing it is out of love and or favor for me. But see, out of love and favor for me isn't a why that runs deep enough. So at some point, they're going to give up. Maybe halfway, maybe a piece of the way. At some point, that why is going to run, I didn't say it like this, but the why is not deep enough. So before we even get to the goal, they're going to give up. So instead of even dragging us all through that, I'd much rather do it by myself until I find more people who are more so motivated to also who has a deeper why other than just me and doing it for me. They also, maybe a producer who also sees themselves in the same type of arena that I want to exist in. You know what I mean? Maybe an engineer, maybe, a music video guy or whatever. You know what I mean? Cameraman, whatever. Somebody who's going just as hard. So we can all help pull each other up and we can all be in it together. And it's not just a constant, favor, because outside of that, you still have to attend to your own life. So at some point, it's gonna get tired, and the why is gonna fade out, and it'll be more so of a thing that has to stop. You know what I mean? Because the why is not deep enough, right? So I'm asking you, how deep is your why for yourself? Because if your why is, ask yourself why you even want to reach the goals you want to reach. You understand? A lot of people say money. A lot of people say, peace of mind and things like that. Peace of mind is actually a good one. But money is more so one of those things that can be used as an example of something that's not deep enough. What does money represent to you? That might be a better why to pull from. You know what I mean? That might be something better to get into and ask yourself, like, okay, money, all right, but what does money represent for me? Does money represent safety for me, so I don't have to worry? Does money represent freedom? More money, more freedom, right? I can do more. I can breathe bigger. I can relax. I can, I can venture out and do whatever the fuck I want to do in this world. But how deep is your why? And do you really think that why is deep enough to carry you from here to the goal? And if it's not, then you might want to rethink why you even want to do it in the first place. And one or two things will happen, right? You'll either find, that the why that you've been using is too surface, and this is why you lose motivation easily. And while investigating that, you might find a deeper why, right? And then go harder. You'll go harder for what you want because you're more motivated. You're coming from a more authentic place for yourself. Not to prove to other people, not to, all that surface shit, from, just trying to like make a point outside of yourself, but you genuinely want it for yourself. You understand? Maybe a way of serving humanity. And you'll, once you find that deeper meaning in what you want to do, you'll go for it. You'll build even more momentum going towards it. That's one. Or two, you'll find that the goal was based on bullshit, that's outdated, and you don't even want that as a goal. You don't even give a fuck about the goal. You may have been trying to prove this to somebody else. You may have been trying to make a point to someone else outside of yourself. Impress people outside of yourself, maybe your family. You might be going to school. You might have been in school forever. That's his point. You know what I mean? But it's not for you. It's for your mom. It's for your dad. It's for your grandparents. It's so you can be the trophy for them. People pleasing. Got an episode on that for those who need to get a little deeper, get a little deeper insight on people pleasing and ways to stop it. Right, but this runs along the same vein, right? So within the same vein, so it's like you're going to be sluggish. You're not going to be motivated to really get it done. You're not going to be passionate enough because you don't give a fuck about school. You don't give a fuck about graduating. You don't give a fuck about none of this shit. Like, you don't care. Like, the reason why you even studying that long and taking yourself through all that bullshit torture, you know what I mean, is so you don't be looked at as a failure. Maybe you have a sibling or a couple siblings that didn't do the same thing, and you see how they were criticized, and so now you're trying to find a way to not be that disappointment to your parents. You want to be the good kid. You want to be the good child. You want to be the one who made them so happy and so proud, and they can just go and brag on you and, you know, use you as a trophy kid and all this stupid shit. Okay? By you doing that for your parents, I'm letting you know right now that why is not deep enough. And let's just say you decide to continue down this path because the fear of what your parents might think and your friends might think and your family might think is stronger than the epiphany that you just had when you heard this part of the podcast. Let's say you just continue. And let's say you graduate, right? Now you've done all of that going the exact wrong direction. Now you're whatever age that you are, and you're regretting the fact that you did that, and you now you finally get to feel what that feels like, and the outcome is not really satisfying. It's not a long fulfillment of gratification, because you will soon realize, if you didn't already, that this wasn't even for you. You let parents live through you. You let family members live through you. You let the perception of what people might think of you take over and hijack your whole being, and you went and did what you think was acceptable in the society we live in, and to impress, to people please. Let's say you're going for a goal, and you're looking to reach it, and you're fueling yourself off of like revenge. A lot of times these feelings will fade, and after a while you will have to fake being angry still. You have to fake being, resentful enough to even push through these things. That's not always going to be enough to get you to a lot of the goals that you want to attain. If it's short-term goals, if it's something that you can get to within a decent amount of time, I know that's relative, but decent amount of time, cool. You still shouldn't be pulling from that space, because it's actually not healthy for you in the long run. But cool, you understand? But a lot of us are going for, we're setting goals based on the wrong shit, right? You got to ask yourself real questions, man. You got to have real conversations with yourself and really think about, like, what is it that you're here for? What makes you happy? When was the last time you remember being the happiest? And for a lot of us, it's in childhood, and the second happiest is when you met somebody you thought was the love of your life or whatever. But just what moment in time really made your heart feel full? Explore that feeling. What makes you feel like that now? Really get in tune with yourself, get in tune with your body, get in tune with your intuition, your instincts. You understand? This is where the magic happens at. This is where you find a why that's deep enough to get you to your goals. Within that space, you find your purpose. You find, the deeper meaning of life for you. You find the way you want to express yourself, the way you want to serve humanity. Do your part. You know what I mean? Something that just means, a lot deeper than, I want to be rich. I want to, I just want to have a lot of money. Because sometimes, aside from, you just want to have a lot of money, it's a lot of times it might be rooted in trying to show other people what you made of yourself. Still trying to show off for somebody else. Let's say you do reach that goal, and you based it on all the wrong shit, but just say you reached it. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you can keep remotivating yourself till you actually get to the goal. It's like, I got it. See, fuck y'all, fuck you, Elijah, I got to the goal anyway. And it was based off of what I wanted people to see when I get here and all this cool shit, right? And then the same ending from the example I gave from if you went to school, you graduated, and whatever. Since it was based off of bullshit, it won't fulfill you. What J. Cole say? The good news is, nigga, you came a long way. The bad news is, nigga, you went the wrong fucking way. Right, so it's just something to think about. So yeah, ask yourself that: how deep is your why? What is your why? Rather, what is your why? Will it sustain as enough motivation and inspiration alone to help propel you forward, help push you forward, help motivate you to get up every day and want to still do what you want to do? Are you passionate? Have you found passion within what you have decided to do with your life? Have you found that thing that makes time stand still and you forget how long you've been doing it when you're in the moment? You have to look over at the clock and it's been 3 hours and it just feels like 10 minutes. You understand? Find those things, gravitate more towards those things, and make you feel like that. That puts you in that space, and I promise you will be a happier person. But yeah, make sure your why is rooted in something that will actually motivate you just because of what that is. But that answer to that question is solely up to you. It's within you. You know what I mean? So this is all the time I got for tonight. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. This has been the Moonchild Podcast with the Moonchild, his motherfucking self, Elijah KB. Thank you. I appreciate you. For those interested in spiritual advice, I now have a page where you can sign up for a one-on-one hour session with myself. The link will be in the description. And for any questions and topics for the podcast, feel free to email them to me.